Hello, this is a brief video to talk about some of the protocols which will be put in place at FBC Westbrook to ensure our church is following the guidelines published by the CDC in Maine and released by the governor's office on May 22nd. This is not an exhaustive list of everything that is in place, but it will give you a good idea of what you can expect when you come, whether that's in June or later. For those of you who are there on June 7th, I'm looking forward to seeing your face in person. But entry doors and many doors that you find usually inside the building will actually be propped open. There will be cones on the sidewalk leading up to the building to allow social distancing in line for entry. And there'll be a greeter outside to help you and keep track of the count to ensure we stay within the 50-person limit in the sanctuary. That greeter will also be asking for your name and a contact phone number. We promise not to spam call you. It's required that we have a way to reach individuals who visit in the case of a positive COVID result from someone who has attended a service prior to them contracting the virus. And so even if you've been coming here for years, don't assume we have your contact information. Please be kind when you're asked for it. And if you haven't already, go ahead and give that to Shara, because we will, as the weeks go on, update our list with anyone who's already on the registry. So we're not continuing to ask you if you have already given it. So get that information to Shara if you can. When entering, we're asking that everyone who comes to be prepared to wash your hands on entry, or you can use hand sanitizer that you bring for your own purpose while you're in line so that the greeter is able to see that. David has constructed some outdoor sinks. There's a lot of science that backs up the fact that even if it's not hot water, any pressure and friction combined with soap kills the virus, and then you're washing it down the drain. So there's some cool YouTube videos about that. If you want a link, feel free to ask. But be prepared to kind of take that precaution as you're entering and put on a mask. We are asking that anyone who attends the service be prepared to mask while you're in line, getting to your seat, and anytime you're moving about in the building. So anytime that you're likely or it's possible that you'd be within a 6-foot space of another human, we're asking that you have a mask. That means that when you're sitting in your seat in the sanctuary or downstairs with the individuals who you share a household with, you can take your mask off if that's more comfortable. If you are able and can, keeping your mask on just continues to protect others from any droplet transmission risk, continues to reduce droplet transmission risk for yourself. It also reminds you just not to touch your face, which is the biggest rule in all of this, is don't touch your face, wash your hands, don't touch your face. And so the idea is that while you're seated, since it is socially distanced, you are able to take them off if you need to, especially if you have children or there's another reason that wearing a mask is uncomfortable or not possible. No one's going to judge you, but please be prepared to wear a face covering of some kind if you are entering, exiting, or moving about the space to use the bathroom, for example. And we also just wanted to comment, there is a CDC recommendation that humming is not shown to increase any risk of droplet transmission, whereas some singing or projecting your voice in that way can be. We ask that people just participate in whatever way feels most comfortable to them, because there isn't a prohibition against singing in the guidelines. So we ask that you kind of follow whatever your conscience dictates for you. We have made sure that our music team is distant from the congregation in such a way that it would prevent droplet transmission. And So if you have any questions or feedback or thoughts, please feel free to ask. Um, Once 50 people have entered the sanctuary upstairs, the greeter outside will start redirecting individuals to the back entrance, which is by the gate past like the dumpster in the driveway, and then down that sidewalk to the dining room. And so Scott referred to that as the southern campus. Maybe we'll even make signs. It'll be fun. But the process for entry is the same. So you'd be washing your hands using a mask, and then going down around the building to that separate entrance. The tables will be set up in such a way that you can sit with members of your household but be distant from others. And obviously, we wouldn't allow more than 50 people in that space either. So we'll be keeping track of that. The simulcast of the upstairs service will be on a screen downstairs automatically. There's a lot of new technology to make this an enjoyable experience and hopefully make people who are in that area of the building feel just as much present as they would if they were upstairs. And so any door that you find propped or open in the interior or exterior, whether you're upstairs or downstairs, please leave propped open. Reducing the number of contact points on doorways and other high touch surfaces is something that's been thoughtfully done with your safety in mind. And so in both the sanctuary and the dining room, please do not touch other areas other than your seats, and feel free to ask the greeter if you need something like a Bible or a pen, and you can just take those home with you. We have removed all the usual items that are found in the pews just because shared use items are difficult to sanitize in our environment. We, for communion, have purchased single serving self-serve containers, which will be distributed within the guidelines of safe handling. And if you prefer to decline service, that's fine too. So we'll have more to say about that during a service with communion. It's also just important to note that bathrooms will be cleaned in between use. Upstairs, there will be someone actually outside the bathroom prepared to clean all the contact points because it's a single-use bathroom. Downstairs, there will be cleaning supplies clearly marked and labeled and provided for you to use so that you can use gloves and a cleaning wipe or gloves and spray, whatever you prefer, after you've used the bathroom, just to have that level of safety between your use and someone else's use. All surfaces that are in both bathrooms and seating areas will be thoroughly sanitized after each service, basically. When exiting the building, we ask that those who are closest to the door would be dismissed first, and that as you're waiting to leave, you keep social distancing in mind as you line up. We do not have a formal dismissal process outlined as of yet. If this ends up feeling chaotic and people need that, we'll certainly put one into place. But we would ask that if you're closest to a door, that you leave first, keep distancing in mind, and we'll evaluate as things go on. That is a great segue into just lastly, we know that this is going to be a different sort of way of being together and a different world. We ask that you give us questions, feedback, suggestions, any donated cleaning supplies or hand sanitizer that you want to bring by, and just, be kind and patient as we navigate this new world and new way of meeting together. We thank you for your patience and really look forward to seeing you in person, connecting in as a part of the physical body of Christ even as we've been doing it distantly and virtually these past many weeks. Um, so stay safe, stay healthy, and if you are in a high risk population or have any signs or symptoms or hints that you might be sick or have been exposed, stay home. And feel free to, if you have questions about, health screening or should I come or should I not, feel free to reach out to anyone on the leadership team, especially, myself and Chris. We've been, doing a lot of health screenings in our workplaces, and so happy to answer questions. And we look forward to seeing you all as soon as it feels right to you. God bless.